Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Finally, ATR Around the Revolution has begun. The inaugural episode, MSR 26 recap, is here. But first, I want to kind of explain what you can expect from Around the Revolution this year. We've got stats and analysis, live user interviews, recaps every 4 weeks. Yeah, I know. I've been slacking a bit, I can admit that, but I gotta be better for you. No, not you, for you. Let's get back to it. Recaps every 4 weeks, hot takes and cold takes, and much more to come, hosted by yours truly, only on the MSR Network YouTube channel. Now let's get into this SOB, man, because we have got a lot to unpack today. We're going to start with our first segment, Boom or Bust. We're going to be looking at the top prospects throughout MSR 26 and how they performed this season, and we're going to start right now. And the way things played out in MSR 26, we had 10 booming rookies, and we're going to be going down that list, starting from least explosive to nuclear warhead. Starting us out today, we've got Motor City, Detroit free safety Chad Rogers out of Georgia, who finished the season with 77 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 9 interceptions. Now we're going to bounce down to Houston, where we've got right end Chris Walker out of LSU, who finished with 40 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 11.5 sacks. Next, we've got New England quarterback John Parker out of Florida, who had a 58% completion rate for 3,571 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 28 interceptions. Next, we've got Washington center Josh Golston, one of the best in the entire league this season, had 0 allowed sacks throughout all 16 games. Next, we've got Green Bay halfback Jason Howard out of Oregon, who had 233 attempts for 1,163 yards and 14 touchdowns. Now, we've got another New England player, halfback Tommy Clark out of Pittsburgh. Eduardo was really doing his thing this season with his rookies. He had 236 attempts for 1,411 yards and 19 touchdowns. Now we're going to head over to Tennessee, where you're going to find wide receiver Tony Flores out of Arizona State, who had 100 receptions for 1,315 yards and 17 touchdowns. Now we're down to our final 3 booming rookies of MSR 26, all 3 of them wide receivers. So starting us out, we've got Denver wide receiver Jerome Carruthers out of South Carolina, who finished with 78 receptions for 1,592 yards and 17 touchdowns. And bringing up that number 2 slot, we've got Cleveland wide receiver Earl Landry out of Georgia. And man, oh man, Browns fans might have been sad to see Jarvis leave, but he was replaced with his brother, just as electric. Earl Landry finished with 102 receptions for 1,914 yards and 25 touchdowns. Gentlemen and gentlemen, we find ourselves at the number 1 spot. This is the nuclear warhead rookie of MSR 26, and that is going to go to Chicago wide receiver Tyreek Frazier out of Georgia. All of these Georgia products coming into the league are on fire, but Tyreek Frazier finishes the season with 99 receptions, 2,317 yards, and 26 touchdowns. And we've got a couple honorable mentions here as well, and those are going to go to Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Caleb Turner and Green Bay wide receiver Gabriel Richardson. And that's going to do it for our booms here in MSR 26. But where there are booms, there, of course, inevitably has to be
bust.
And I've only really got 2 two names to throw out from this season, and one of them almost makes it into the boom category, so I'm going to put him somewhere in between. We'll call it boomst. And that boomst player in question is Chicago quarterback Darren Spellman out of USC, who finishes the season with 62% completion rate for 4,265 yards, 34 touchdowns, but he does have 36 interceptions on the season too, which kind of keeps him out of that boom category. I'm sure that Cobb was hoping for a bit more out of that Chicago quarterback, but you clean up those turnovers, then he makes it into the boom category, in my opinion. Now, last and unfortunately least, I think we've got to give our bust of MSR 26 to Buffalo quarterback Jim Hardiman out of Ohio State. For similar reasons that Darren Spellman couldn't be a boom, those exact reasons are why Hardiman is a bust here. He finishes the season with 63% completion rate for 3,571 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 40 interceptions. I know that has to sting for T. Wayne, but you gotta hope that Hardiman cleans things up in his sophomore season and we start to see some more success out of this high-powered Buffalo offense. Or that might have been the last we've seen of Hardiman, because T. Wayne did sign Matthew Stafford and he's got Jake Fromm still in that depth chart, so there might be a bit of a quarterback battle going into MSR 27. Definitely something to keep our eyes on. And that's going to do it for this season's edition of Boom or Bust. Now let's keep things rolling here, man, because this is the best part about having a new show is every single segment is fresh out of the box. And the prize that I got out of this cereal box, well, I am joined here today by the host of the New Dawn podcast, the shot caller, NFC East's #1 baller, the MSR commissioner himself, Timbo in the building. How have you been, man, and how was your New Year's?
PayneTrain, what's going on, bro? Thank you for having me. Things are going well. The league is moving briskly through this Madden 21 cycle, bro. But I'm ecstatic that we got someone else in the pipeline that's looking to create something dope. And just from the ideas and things you've been sharing with me along this way, I'm excited to get this going. So, what you need. I heard I'm the plug right now. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, man, Plugged In with Timbo. That is the name of the segment. And obviously, you and I have talked at length in the past about the creative process and what it takes to bring MSR to the next level. And a lot of that has to do with league content. I would dare to say that the league is hitting new peaks as far as our content goes. What's your perspective on that?
In terms of the entire scope of the community, I think we are I think we're probably just at like a push space. And what I mean by that is like we're kind of riding the equator of the content right now. We've had some things really kind of hick us up along the way. Twitter really put a dent in a few of our accounts that we use for a lot of content, especially our Inside the Sticks crew. A couple of Genesis accounts. We just remade the Genesis account. Shout out to Muck for getting that done. So we've had to move around a little bit in terms of that part, but we've had guys that just stay consistent throughout the cycle. We've had people emerge with their talents. Someone like Samoan, who's really taking his graphics to the next level. Red is another user, the Detroit Lions guy. Red has been so awesome throughout the whole cycle about just making sure his team stats, his player stats, like everything is always covered on Red's side. Who else can I think of? Some people throughout the cycle. I think about J-Rod, the draft guys. You got Lil Bear, who's really been on point with his content. Pretty much, it was set that he was going to have his Cardinals. Like, it just gave him a whole new battery on top of what he's already been doing in the community. So I think we're fine. I think we really are at a comfortable space. I'll say that. I think we're comfortable, but I do feel that there is room to improve, but not more in like a feedback or like kind of like somewhere we can grow. I just think that I think there's just more time as our users are getting more acclimated through the cycle. And there's always like for a couple where schedules got crazy. The holidays were wild for a lot of people with their schedules and COVID, of course. So I'm enjoying what I'm seeing overall, given all the different road bumps that we've had along the way and different different variables that have played a part in our consistency and content. But you look at the MSR network, you think of someone like Hop, who's really taken over the direction of the network and really gotten the content moving on there. We've had our highest number of streams over the last couple of months, so we're getting there, and it's more about tackling the consistency part of it. But as long as everyone takes care of their own, I mean, look, we're all going to see some really good stuff come out as the cycle.
Let's talk about MSR on Instagram Live for a second. Your show, Live with Timbo. Personally, I'm a huge fan of bringing the league to external platforms separate from our own little Discord community, whether that be Twitch, YouTube, the individual team Twitters like you were talking about, everybody's individual streams. What do you think Instagram brings to our league that makes it stand apart from other platforms?
Well, Instagram is one of those apps, like along with TikTok, that's kind of running the world right now. Like everyone is just on their phone, scrolling, seeing what everyone's doing. You're getting a vision into what's people's going on, whether it be from their fashion or just what they do for work or their philanthropy, whatever that you're interested in. Even sometimes if you want to look at a beautiful girl, like you got all of that there on Instagram. But with us, it's a platform where I feel like we can really take advantage of because we've had different starting points with the platform and really trying to figure out how we're going to get going. Even at points in the cycle, like it was, I was kind of outsourcing a little bit because, I don't like to feel like I'm monopolizing a lot of the content or doing a lot of things. But, there's certain areas where I feel like it has to have my imprint. And, Instagram was kind of dry for a while. I think we were about 2 or 3 months where we really didn't have anything consistent on there. And I just wanted to I just took the bull by the horns and said, I'm gonna just take care of this. And what I came up with was, how can we get more of our users to people who know nothing about us? Like, how can we explain what we do here by actually connecting with our actual community? And what I did was I just came up with an idea. I was like, how about we have more conversation? It doesn't have to be everything about MSR. We could talk about, real sports. We could talk about, other lifestyle conversations. I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can implement what we do with Madden and actually connect it to where we're talking about, just a little bit of everything and how it all encompasses together. I mean, I have ideas and topics that I want, more people to really give feedback into because they're coming down the line as we start the new year. Definitely talk about having how to have that balance, like how to have that balance between the family and the game, because we can be on this game and do a lot of things that can take us away from the family at times. How to have that balance, or people that are married or people that have kids, like how do you do that? And people that just, the competition part of like, how does that wear on you? Like, sometimes like, you play in 2 to 3 different leagues and you really care about your teams. And then, let's say you're having a rough week of, playing games and you're not really, playing your best. You may lost 2 games in one league and then 3 games in another league that week. And it's just, you just feel like you can't win at all. Like, how do you balance those moments and come out of those funks? I think those are a lot of things that people don't think about when it comes to video game. But as we're seeing, the gaming scene is becoming a real avenue for content, for for growth, for just, for people to get paid and figure out what they want to do and really expand. I feel that Instagram will give us a lot of insight to what we do as a community, and also keep people in tune what's going on day to day. The off season, we're going to get that going with trade alerts. This story, the Instagram story, is where we're going to make our bread and butter, because that's what most people are paying attention to right now, is the stories. Like, what are people doing minute by minute, hour by hour, instead of waiting for the post, on the feed, where it could be kind of jumbled up from 6 hours to you seeing something from 2 days ago. And I think that's where we're looking to really build up. Live with Timbo just kind of was one of my ideas that I've had over the years, where it's just kind of, it hit me and I wanted to do something with it, had a couple good ideas, put it together, and it kind of just took off on its own. So we're just looking to build a viewership, but that also starts with itself.
The segment is called Plugged In with Timbo. So I would be remiss, in fact, I would be doing a disservice to the league if I didn't ask you, what do you got in the pipeline? What can we expect from Timbo, MSR or otherwise?
I know there's been a little bit of like, what's going on with the Rise situation. Trust me, guys, hold your horses. We've been having to fine tune the whole system. Of course, there was a big kind of an uproar about how it all came out from a couple of guys who are no longer with us. But when we kind of squared all that away. But the process of the last couple of years, I've been keeping tabs with a lot of the guys. I've been reaching out to these users, keeping stats. And we've got a really big recap of the first 2 seasons of the Rise client. And we're going to get our next class coming in that'll start from MSR season 27. We're looking to a couple of guys. I got a couple of tweets coming out this week. Some really good profile pieces that I've been working on for the next week or so. as we get into the off season. I just want people to really understand that this thing is deep. Like we this project, and mind you, it was all my own brainchild, but this project is going down a whole line. Where I'm talking about Madden 22 and and beyond, that we're going to have players that we're going to be looking back on and saying, hey, I had that guy, or he was, one of your players may end up being a Hall of Famer for the MSR, which is something we're looking to bring back. We want to get a Hall of Fame so we can look back at all these great players, all these great trades we have, and see how these people were able to take these players to the next level. And I know with Rise that it comes off, because it's players that are being custom draft, or not custom draft, but generated draft classes. And you're trying to figure out how these guys are going to be stars, but it's all about the user. And also sometimes, it may not be their first team where they take off. It may be the second team, but sometimes when you get to that second team, that's after the rookie contract, or towards the end of the cycle. How does that impact things? There's a lot of different angles that I'm tackling with this. And again, it's an evolving process, but definitely keep in tune for that, because that's been the main thing for me, just really getting that going. Otherwise than that, we have new NDP. Of course, NDP Live was last week. We're having another recorded episode of NDP soon. There's a couple other guys that are really working on some things that are trying to get me involved. And I say all the time, I try not to be involved in everything, but people always reach out for advice and maybe ask me to help out. So I just like to give, I like to just give endlessly from myself, because I feel like when you're able to help others, it really makes the product even better. But overall, we're good, man. I think the IG is going to continue to grow. That's really been the main thing, to get the IG going, and with the Rise, and just staying consistent with the content. Inside the Sticks, we're recreating that Twitter this week as well. So we're trying to get that daily feel of every time you look at your phone, there's some news that you can kind of get from MSR, where it feels like a real beat, like a beat writer team.
Like you're saying, the users are on the up and up. The content's going up. The immersion's skyrocketing right now. MSR 27, possibly the season of growth. And if you guys have any interest at all in listening to the full uncut segment of Plugged In with Timbo, I will be uploading the unedited version of the audio to that interview to the MSR Network YouTube channel, so stay tuned for that. And I really want to say thank you to everybody for the support that's been coming in for Around the Revolution, even before the show aired. It really that says something about the community that we've built here and the support that everybody has for the content that we put into the league. But that's going to do it for this first episode of Around the Revolution. Like I said, guys, if you want to see your clips featured on the next episode, you've got to post them in the Around the Revolution Discord channel. Just clip any and all plays, great plays, crappy plays, anything. Put them in that Around the Revolution Discord channel, and they will get featured on the very next episode. We've got a lot of great stuff in the pipeline here for you guys. A lot of special guests, new segments, everything. So stay tuned, and I appreciate y'all. And we're going to end this episode with a few of the clips from users who either like to use their webcams on stream or like to talk on stream. Just some of the more comical clips that we've seen in MSR 26. All right, y'all. Peace.
Oh, nice pick, Jamal. Oh, you ain't gonna catch him. That's a lot of speed. That's 95 speed. That's 95 speed. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's go. Let's go.
What? What? If you're gonna try and tell me that this game doesn't want JT to win, we gotta step outside. You gotta step outside. We're gonna form the MSR Fight Club, and anybody who says that Madden is not trying to help my opponents is gonna fucking catch the smoke.
Let's go for that.
This is what like Adam Thielen did. He was like, He was like doing some like glasses thing.